My wife wants to quit work to be a stay-at-home mother/student. What would you do? Some background to this. My wife of 6 years currently works 4 days a week and studies for a degree 1 day. She struggles a bit to study enough in only 1 day to keep up with her course. We have 2 children aged 3 and 5. The 5-year-old is in school, 3-year-old is in nursery, which is free from 3 in the UK. They have a childminder to cover the time between school and when we finish work, which we pay for. I make good money. Not amazing, but quite comfortable. Enough that with being fairly frugal we are able to live entirely off my pay and save my wife's pay, which is around 2/5 of mine after tax. Our long-term plan was to save enough that we can both take early retirement and move out to the country in about 8 to 10 years. My wife has just come back from a 3-week break from work and has suddenly started saying she wants to quit work completely and be a SAM. That would give her more time to study, and she would also take on a little more of the housework, which we currently split very evenly. This would also essentially mean we have no savings and I would very likely not be able to retire when we had planned. We would save a little by not needing the childminder, but nowhere near enough to make up the difference. She is very excited by the idea, but I'm not so sure. It seems to me like she would get all the benefit of this and I would have all the negatives with the pressure of being the sole breadwinner and potentially having to work for years longer. I generally like my job, but only as much as it's possible to enjoy staring at a screen for 8 hours a day and dealing with office politics. We are generally good at communicating, so are talking through this a lot. She seems to understand my concerns, but keeps saying that it would be beneficial for everyone as her and the kids would be in a better mood, so home life would be easier for me as well. To me, that seems pretty intangible, where the loss of income is a lot easier to quantify. It would also be a huge shift in the dynamic of our relationship, as we would go from being equal partners to having very clearly defined gender-based roles. I feel like if I say no, she will always resent me for it. If I say yes, I will always resent her for it. I wanted to see what other people's opinions are. AITA, the degree is in environmental science, which is her passion. She originally started the degree to improve her job prospects, but managed to get a new job in a related field almost immediately. Finishing the degree is important to her, but it is unlikely to improve her career prospects much. When we retire, she wants to do conservation work and thinks the knowledge will be beneficial. Comment. Missing info, what's the degree in? I'd assume she's studying to complete something with job prospects, so if she's asking to temporarily quit in order to finish the degree and look for work in a field she wants to be in, that's very different than wanting to quit working forever. Then why does she need the degree at all, especially if they want to retire in 10 years? It would make more sense to quit her studies than her job, especially if she doesn't even plan to work in that field. Sounds like she basically wants to retire now, and would have to work longer in turn. Why? She's doing it for nothing but to get out of working. How would she feel if he wanted to study and be a SATD while she worked full-time and didn't get to retire? Bet she'd have a different view then. But you don't expect your husband to become the sole provider for the family, just so you could indulge your hobby. And you don't have small kids you both need to take care of. If anyone here was asking AITA because I spend 1 whole day per week indulging in my hobby, even though we have 2 kids under 6, they'd get eviscerated in the comments. First, I'd sit down with a financial planner and have a hard look at how the loss of her income would affect your long-term goals. The realization that you'd both need to work a lot longer to achieve your goals may be a catalyst in affecting her decision. I'd also have a discussion about why she wants to make this shift. I get that she wants to have more time to study and be at home with the kids, but there's probably other factors as well. Is she burnt out at her job or not enjoying it anymore? Could she look at making a shift to a more fulfilling job? Finally, look at compromises. Could she go part-time instead? How would that affect your financial goals? Could she look at other streams of generating some income, consulting, etc.? It doesn't have to be all or nothing in many cases, so perhaps you two can find some middle ground that you're both comfortable with. Next story 2. My partner cheated on me and doesn't consider it cheating. Hello, me and my partner, H, have been in a relationship for about 10 months now. It's been going really well and I could imagine really settling down with him. That is until a few days ago. He was showering after work as always when his phone started going off uncontrollably. Normally I wouldn't bother looking at the messages because we both always respected each other's privacy and wouldn't look at the other's phone without their permission. Don't get me wrong, we totally trust each other, we both know each other's passwords, etc., and he literally tells me about everything he does and thinks about. But when I looked at it, I can see the beginning of the messages popping up on the lock screen. You can see the first message of a chat even when the phone is locked. It had a lot of heart emojis, so I got curious. And lo and behold, it's from another man, sending heart emojis and asking questions about when they'd next meet. My first thought was immediately he's cheating on me, and I'm not the type of person to hide that I know he is texting others. So I confronted him immediately after he was done showering. I don't know why I kept so calm, but I think it just didn't really click yet. We settled on the bed. He often sleeps over and we thought about renting an apartment together, and he told me it's a man he met at a bar during a night out with his co-workers. And that they have been texting each other. He also wasn't hesitant to tell me that yes, they did have intercourse together a few times. When I asked him, so, you cheated on me? He just replied that no, he still only loves me but considered us in an open relationship. We never talked about the status of our relationship because where I come from, everyone just naturally assumes that a relationship is a monogamous one except if stated otherwise. So he doesn't consider it cheating and still says that I am the one for him. But that he thinks having some fun on the side doesn't hurt anybody. Well, it does. I never knew. And I don't know what to think about it. I love him, at least I think I do. But I don't know, I have never thought about an open relationship and if I am okay with that. H told me that he is also fine with me having other partners as long as, at the end of the day, us two were still our main partners. They even talked about including me since I am his main partner. What should I do? I really love him, he is so understanding, sweet and gentle. I don't want to lose him. And he doesn't consider it cheating. He said his partner and him both agreed to it only being a fling. But shouldn't he have told me beforehand? Shouldn't we have talked about the status of our relationship first? Comment. 10 months together and the topic of open relationship never came up? Yeah, that's something that you discuss with your main partner, otherwise it is cheating. So yeah, he did cheat. And is going to continue to do so. Unless you now approve of it happening. You are still in the honeymoon phase, and don't see him for what he is. A lying, cheating loser. His promises for the future will not happen. He didn't even respect you just a few months into your relationship to keep his dick in his pants. I wonder, was he ever going to tell her he's having sex with multiple people? He doesn't care about her well-being or health. And the worst part, she's actually considering staying in this relationship and having threesomes because she's in love. She's clearly monogamous. Staying is going to lead to more heartbreak, and maybe mess with her physical and mental health. She should end it now and get tested for STDs. Girl, come on. Like a 33-year-old man didn't know fucking someone else wasn't the standard in relationships? You know what's even worse than being a cheater? That, apparently, he thinks you're stupid enough to believe his bullshit, too. First, please get yourself tested for STDs and AIDS, because you don't know where his partners have been. Secondly, he is capable of defining the terms of his relationship with this other man, a fling, but he can't define the relationship he has with you after 10 months and while discussing moving in together? I call bullshit. He just gaslit the heck out of you and you are now convinced he didn't cheat because he bat his gentle lashes at you and said we never declared monogamy, only moving in and living together for the rest of our lives. That's why I kept my double life completely secret from you, because I knew you would be comfortable with it and accept my need to have sex with others, and it wasn't worth bringing up. You did have the talk, you told him you wanted monogamy. Thirdly, now he wants you to start sleeping around so he can continue on with his trysts? This isn't what you signed up for, and no amount of "but I love him" is going to change the situation or the nature of the person you are involved with. He lied, he played with your head a bit, and he put your physical wellness at jeopardy with his cheating. I really wish you'd said, "I love him, but I love myself too much to waste more time on someone who respects me so little."